to hand this microphone over to John.
I'm on already. Wow.
Right, well, we'll do it together here. So this is our annual meeting. Thanks for being here today. We've got, just to give you a quick sense of the agenda, we'll have a call to order, minutes of our previous annual report, introducing any guests here that are with us here today, and then swearing in of the officers, and then we'll go through a treasurer's report, president report, executive director report, and then open discussion of those that are here with the final adjournment. So,
Okay, so officially I call this meeting to order. And the next item on the agenda is minutes of the previous meeting. Tom, will you come up and please present? Oh, okay, he doesn't have them ready yet.
all right.
That's fine, you know.
Okay, we can go into introduction of guests, and maybe actually let's sort of go through the room.
Absolutely.
So, Brian, if you would.
You want to?
Here, this is actually we're actually the first guest I'm going to introduce actually is Jeremy Havens, although he's currently blocked out. Jeremy is our corporate attorney and is attending remotely via Zoom, and will be available to answer any questions if of a legal matter. Anyway, thanks for joining us, Jeremy.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, thanks. And back to our introductions.
I'm Brian Bodwin. I am the interim and incoming treasurer.
What do you want me to do?
Mildred Dwight.
Just,
That's all? Just so that everybody knows who you are.
hi, I'm the previous treasurer, and my name is Mildred DeWitt, and I've been with Kopernik for about 8 years now.
Hello, I'm Mark Cassiola. I'm a board member. I guess I've been with Kopernik since 1989.
Hi, everybody knows who I am. I've been here for 20 years. I'm Tish Brzee, and I'm an instructor here at Kopernik.
Hello, my name is Irene Sidlarczyk. I'm the second vice president. I used to be president for a while, and I think I've been on the board since 2011, is it true? 2008, wow.
2008.
Okay, longer than I thought. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Mike Blake, and I am also on the board. There's nothing special about me. I'm a good guy. And Mildred and I are going to do a little soft shoe later on.
Okay.
Ajay, good to see you.
I'm Andre Lux, and I represent myself.
All right.
Hello, I am Peter Klimas, and I am a member here at Kopernik.
Laura Lamash, member of the board.
Tom O'Brien, the secretary.
Thank you very much. Oh, and we have a couple guests back here.
No. Hello, I'm Jeremy Carty, and I'm a science educator here at Kopernik.
He's also our live stream astronomer, and also is driving the live stream today. All right. So I guess what we'll do is let's move forward, and then Tom, you just let us know when you're in a position to offer the previous minutes. Yes.
For the purposes of those on the live stream,
Mm-hmm.
would you introduce yourself?
Okay, I suppose I should do that, yes. I'm Drew Desker. I'm the executive director. I've been on the board since 2008. I've been executive director since 2011. All right. So the slate of officers that the board has elected for 2023 are the following. John M. Spreitzer III as continuing as president. Drew Desker, me, as first vice president. Irene Sidlarczyk, second vice president. Tom O'Brien as secretary. And Brian Bodwin as moving from interim treasurer, his current position, into treasurer. And so at this point, we would like to have
Swearing in.
You have swearing in as opposed to swearing at. So can we have the officers come up?
Oh, I was going to do it.
Do they have a script for it? Jeremy? Okay. Thank you for your willingness to serve on the board for Kopernik. We're going to swear you in now, if we would. If you please raise your right hand, state your name.
I, Drew Desker,
Okay. Solemnly swear to uphold the duties and obligations of Kopernik Society.
solemnly swear to uphold the duties and obligations of the Kopernik Society.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Art. All right, so now we are going to move to our treasurer's report, and our treasurer, Brian Bodwin, is going to do just that.
Hello again. I'm going to be presenting on our financial position current as of yesterday, November 18th, 2022. First, cash available to Kopernik. Just going over the main accounts. The operations account for the observatory was at $15,952. This is not money that's restricted for grant purposes and is for the general operations of Kopernik. Second, deferred funds is a fund established at the beginning of this year as an additional cushion for Kopernik and its operations. And the target level is $30,000. It's currently at $3,511 and will be replenished as funds become available through the annual campaign and early into next year. The board designated investment fund is a fund that is, there we are. Sorry, I'm going to skip down to total available cash, adding all those together. We were, as of yesterday, at $59,214. This is a typical level for this time of the year, and we're in good shape. In addition to the board-designated investment that we established earlier this year, we have a permanent endowment. This is when it's in a $168,000 level, and we can draw on it to make building repair and conduct maintenance of the building. As everyone knows, it's no secret, the markets are down throughout 2022. Overall, even after drawing out funds, we're only down about 11% from our $168,000 level. That's better than the S&P 500, and NASDAQ, I think, is down 28%. So that is nothing to be concerned about. Additionally, compared to other nonprofits that are more reliant on endowments, Kopernik gets much more of its money from programs and grants. So really, we don't have much exposure to market turmoil, and this is nothing to be concerned about. For the year, our gain right now is, or if it were a nonprofit, we're not a nonprofit, our profit would be, thank you, $6,141, which is good news. And we have, a few expenses labeled on here for this and that are earmarked, but nothing that is particularly large or worthy of note.
All right, any questions for?
Brian, do you want to mention the statements that we have in the program?
Sure. So if you do want to take a look, we do have our results from last year on pages 1 and 2 of the program. Our total cash at the end of 2021 was, this is just free cash, was $150,000. Total assets, including the building and everything else, and the cash from grants was $1,513,920. And our liabilities stood at $3,050. So total equity, looking at all the cash, all the money from grants, that are considered restricted funds, and the buildings in Science Park was at $1,513,920. Additional information is available. We had a CPA review for 2021, and we'd be happy to provide that at request. For program income, which is a large source of income, next to grants, we had 51,622, and that that speaks to the hard work of all of the staff, including Drew, to put on so many programs throughout 2021 and bring that income in. Total income, including grants and programs and donations, etc., was $243,606. We have to thank everyone for their generous financial support that is so valuable to Kopernik, and is really the reason that we're able to offer so many programs for people of all ages. Expenses came in at $196,489, giving us net income of $47,117. So 2021 was a very good year. And that is it for last year's results.
All right, thank you. Do you have a question, Mildred?
Yeah, you need to address your state.
Oh, yes, that's correct. So we're happy to report that we have been working to get a COVID-related beneficial tax treatment with a private partner that we've been working with. And we've heard from them that everything, all of our paperwork has been processed, and we'll be getting a tax credit related to payroll expenses that, will be probably after the fees, about $40,000. And that's not grant money that's restricted to a particular purpose. It will be available generally for the operations of Kopernik and any programs that we may have in store that will need additional funding. So that is incredible news. I don't think it was expected, but because of the diligence of the staff and board members, we were able to seize on the opportunity, and we'll be looking at a check for $40,000 to $50,000 in the coming months.
4 to 6 months before it comes in.
4 to 6 months.
Okay. And the other thing, could you address the annual campaign?
Right.
Which is coming.
So we are, right after this meeting, we will be not quite stuffing stockings, but stuffing envelopes with, update of activities and a request that everyone does, reach into their pockets and show their generosity as they do every year and assist us in the annual campaign. This is a very important source of revenue for Kopernik. It's not operating at the end of the year in the early months of 2023, so every year this is a crucial source of support to keep the center going until we can get programs again and have school children coming again, Friday night programs again early in 2023. Thank you in advance for your generous assistance.
All right, thank you, Brian. All right, now we're going to move on to the president report. Yes. Okay, we're going to
actually,
back
we're going
up.
to switch back to the secretary's report of 2022.
All right, hold on a second.
Couple of quick highlights here. Let's see. Can I place this here? As Brian mentioned with the treasurer's report, last year our permanent endowment was at a point we could draw funds from it. This year it is not because of the stock market. Otherwise, in terms of our cash, total cash last year, at this time we were at 92,500, so we're up a little bit. It was a short meeting. And then the actual annual report was published like the current report. So if there's any questions, but otherwise I think the current financial situation is the main.
Okay, thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
And Drew, our program annual report is online.
It will be available online. We will be doing some website updates and to include the annual report. So look for.
There was one other point, and that is we added added several new board directors last year. We added Reed Duran, who is not now on the board, Laura Lamache, who is now with us, Brian, who's now with us, and John is a new director.
Yeah,
Nick
Gratz-
Gratziker.
Gratziker.
No, he actually came in, I think maybe right at the end of, like after the annual meeting. Yeah, so we just missed it.
Okay,
All right.
I guess I'm up.
You have to approve the minutes
Oh,
and vote.
so let's have a motion from the floor to accept the minutes of last year.
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Art makes motion.
Mike.
Mike makes the second. Any discussion, comments? Okay, let's have a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those who oppose say nay. Motion carries.
All right. Now we go to the president's report.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm glad to be here again. I'm glad to be your president for one more year. A lot of things are happening. It's a great time to be part of Kopernik, and we're actually going to start expanding a little bit, which is, exciting as well. We're looking to take on a new position, which will be our education director. We will be sending out advertisement here at the beginning of the year, and hopefully we'll get some good candidates that we'll interview and then have one selected either early of 2023 or towards the end of the school year, because we are looking for an educator who knows their stuff and will help Kopernik move to that next step that we're looking for. This education director will be integral, working with Drew, looking at grants, and obviously developing new programs that we probably haven't even thought of trying to do at this point in time. But that's what we're looking to do. We've done a few projects, which I'm not going to steal Drew's thunder because he's got a lot to cover of what we've done in the past. But one of the things that we will be doing here in the near future is replacing our parking lot. I think this parking lot was constructed when the addition went on, which was back in 1993. It's seen its wear and tear, and it's time to do something. We've received a very generous grant from Broome County. It's actually a state money that the county received, and they dispersed to different nonprofits, and we were a recipient of a $200,000 grant. So it'll take care of most of the expense. We know that it doesn't cover everything. In addition to that, we're also going to update our entrance, replace the gate that we have there, and take care of some of the landscaping. So we're looking to beautify the entrance and obviously have a new parking lot. So that's exciting. As a nonprofit, one of the things that we are always looking for is funds, whether it's through grants or through donations. You've already heard about the annual campaign that we're going to have, but also Kopernik is looking into a legacy program. We're working with a financial planner, and anybody that would like to have their name as part of Kopernik as a legacy, please consider it. We'll have additional information on the website here towards the beginning of 2023, so please look for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. All right, so I will head into my presentation. Again, I've been the director here since 2011, and so let's sort of highlight 2022. This, I would say, was almost our quote-unquote first normal year since 2020, where we've been able to basically be back open to the public. It started out with our Winter Star Party. We were very fortunate to have Dr. Michelle Thaler, who is a director at the Goddard Space Flight Center, and she was talking about the recently launched James Webb telescope that was on its way to its final location at a Lagrange point. In fact, actually, those that are here in the building, on your way out, make sure you stop at our James Webb shrine in the back over there. There's actually a nice 3D printed version of the model, as well as a nice replica of the mirror system there. It's been great to have schools back returning again. We actually had this week we had schools in every day this week. Our Kopernik Kids is extremely popular. This is for kids that are 3 to 6 years old, and everyone has been selling out. We're back and doing girl power again. In the spring, we did a girl power program about the science of sound, and actually had a woman, actually a Vestal grad, who now is a live stream engineer for Harvard University, and she was here talking to the girls about the work that she does. It was shoot, Peter, you would know her too. I'll remember who it is. Anyway, we had our 4th race of the stars. Had nearly 100 runners here doing a 5K race. We did Rocket Fest again, and again, what was interesting because of the pandemic, when we did it in 2021, we had everybody build their rockets at home just to reduce the exposure to everyone, and we found out that was a great way to do it. So we did it again this year, and so people pick up their rockets in advance, take their time, build it at home, and then brought them up here, and we launched over about 107 rockets that back in June. And of course, our summer camp. Our summer camp basically, essentially was full, and it included camps on virtual reality and augmented reality. We had an opportunity to have our kids talk to an astronaut on the International Space Station again through the ham radio setup we have here, which is always exciting. And at the end of September, beginning of October, we had our Astrofest, which was this was our 40th Astrofest, and it was very, very well received. And we had our Hocus Focus, which was a sort of a haunted observatory event, which also sold out. John had mentioned a couple of grants. Let me highlight a few of the important ones for us. The Floyd Hooker Foundation provided us funding for a Lego robotics program that we brought to Tioga County. And what was nice about this, besides being able to actually get into the schools and have the kids literally from 1st grade through 5th grade work with these Lego robotics, it gave us an opportunity to buy 15 iPads, which now we use not only for the Lego robotics, but in other programs, as well as these new state-of-the-art Lego robotic kits. We were very fortunate to receive a Community Anchor Award for Team 2, otherwise called as a CAT grant, from NASA. It was about almost $24,000, and we will be taking our programs to the Binghamton School District and the Cantor School District, focusing on 2 areas of NASA's interest. One's called Humans in Space, Leading Discovery, Improving Life on Earth, and the other one is called Moon to Mars, Moon Lights the Way. And so we'll be hitting every 4th grader and every 6th grader in the Binghamton School District, as well as in the Cantor School District. The Link Foundation continues to be very helpful to us in supporting our summer camp. We just had our 30th summer camp season, and with their support. Other grants coming down that we received this year was actually Sentry Alarms. Provided basically sort of a pro bono security system for us. So now we have security cameras in every one of our classrooms, in every one of the domes. We have them in the lobby as well, which actually ends up working very well, because when I get a call at 2:30 in the morning that there's a motion alarm in the 20-inch dome, I can bring up the cameras on my phone and say, oh, that was a spider going across the motion detection. So I'm particularly happy with the security system. As John had mentioned, we ended up putting in we had to put in a new HVAC system. The geothermal system that was put in when Roberson expanded to where we are today has failed, and for about 4 years we've had no heat or air conditioning in our physics classroom. Delta engineers came up pro bono and evaluated the system we had, felt that it was really, to try to fix what we had was going to cost more than completely pulling it out and putting it into a system. And so we went and looked for some additional funding, and the Triad Foundation out of Ithaca provided $60,000 toward that, and the Broome County offered another 40. So that basically fully funded the HVAC renovation. But also coming from Broome County, as John mentioned, we got a $200,000 grant to help, I want to say seed, but really move along the parking lot program. The estimate right now is about $240,000 to remove the existing parking lot and replace it. So we are about to go out and get some quotes, and hopefully also with that we can raise some additional funds again for a proper gate and improving our landscaping. We also received a grant from BAE Systems to update our media system. Like right now, the equipment we have here in space science, because this really is our main classroom, the technology continues to move forward, but we're not with that. And so we'll be putting in a 4K projector. We'll actually have an actual podium up here as opposed to a little work cart for presenters. For those, again, that are here, if you take a look at the two windows behind there, you'll see there's cardboard sheets that are stuck up in there, and we will be replacing those sheets and failing blinds with light block screens. We'll also be getting a pan, tilt, and zoom camera system so that when we do programs like this, we'll have this camera that can go to various scenes and not have to sit there and move the tripod around. We've also done some other work this year on the physical plant, in particular dome painting. And this has been a project we've been worried about for a number of years. This is what our 6-inch dome looked like. It was very rusted, and so fortunately we had help from a number of our board members that we literally scraped all the rust off, put on this rust arrestor material that bonds to the rust, primed it, painted it, and this is what we have today. They look brand spanking new. We even painted the 20-inch dome, and that's the dome to the right. And it was noted by the staff that the temperature in the summer in that 20-inch dome was significantly reduced. The paint that we have, that we applied, is an infrared reflecting paint, and it absolutely did the job. So this was definitely a lot of elbow grease that went into this, and I want to thank the board and some community members that helped out to make this a reality. Again, the security cameras were great because it also gives, I think it also, to the public, it gives them a sense that, you know, we're watching, and so it'll reduce any or reduce the amount of any harm that we might see in the building. The HVAC replacement has been great. Now we can actually control the heat in these systems in all of the rooms. And what's also nice is I was just showing John, our president, that I can actually control those thermostats remotely. So if we know we can come up, I can preheat the building, in the winter in advance of people coming up. Back in September, we had the Day of Caring, and we actually had over a dozen people from Delta Engineers come up. They provided us help out in the Kopernik Science Park, literally going to every screw on every one of those structures out there to make sure everything was nice and tightened, leveled out the wood chips, but also came in here, did some painting in our physics classroom and down our main hallway. And so we're really very appreciative of Delta Engineers who came up and helped us out. So again, we have that space science media system upgrades that you'll be seeing over the next couple of weeks. And also we have a donor who will has offered to replace the flooring in our physics classroom, which is desperately needed. And our Building and Grounds Committee is in the process of making a final selection on how that's going to happen and getting quotes and making that happen. And finally, that parking lot replacement. is going to be super important, and will just help add to the appearance of Kopernik as we approach our anniversary. One of the other things that I really that has really been I want to say surprising. It's been surprising to me. It probably shouldn't have been. Is how popular our Kopernik YouTube channel has been. If you remember back in March of 2020, in fact, Mr. Klimas was the last person to speak at one of our public programs in 2020. We had to shut down literally that next day, and we did not open back to the public for well over a year. But when we first shut down, we said, all right, well, we'll just sort of stop this for a couple of weeks until this COVID thing blows over. And, well, that didn't exactly happen. So talking with the staff and Jeremy and I said, well, we could probably do this virtually. And so we had all these speakers lined up. So we had them Zoom into here. And then Jeremy really helped us set up our YouTube channel. And we started putting that information out on a YouTube channel. So we started calling it FNL, Friday Night Live Stream. But then as time went on, they would say, well, there's other opportunities for us to do some outreach. So we started doing observing sessions. We had the Comet Neowise, a couple of sessions with that. There was the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in December. We had a lunar eclipse in May of this year that at one point there were over 25,000 people watching at the same time. The chat was flying by like a CVS receipt. It was extraordinary. In fact, people were saying, I left NASA's live stream to come to yours because we like yours better. And now we're also doing these sort of watch parties. We're calling it the Kopernik Reaction, KRNX channel, if you will. And those are things like, just this past week, the Artemis rocket launched successfully and is on its way to the moon. And so Jeremy, from his apartment, basically took the NASA stream in one window. He was sitting talking in another. People were asking questions in the chat, and it's a great community that has arisen from this. We now have 12.8 thousand, almost 13,000 subscribers to our live stream. And along with that, we're actually doing some fundraising with this live stream. We've been able to, back in May, with that the lunar eclipse, we raised over $4,000 that night through donations from people. So this has been a great source of outreach for us. We're seeing now some ad revenue come in, and so the more people subscribe, the more income we're seeing. So, and Jeremy, again, I really have to thank you for all your efforts in making this happen, because it would. And I thought I was an IT geek. This guy blows me away. So, all right. So anyway, if you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see we've got FNL, Friday Night Live Stream. So you can actually, like last night, we actually had 2 meteorologists from the National Weather Service up here talking about the big snowstorm we had in 2020 and how that happened, meteorologically, and then talking about what's going to happen this winter, or so they think. As I mentioned earlier, we had an opportunity for have our students, our summer camp students, talk to an astronaut on the ISS. There's that. You can actually go and watch that entire exchange on our YouTube channel. The Artemis launch that was just a couple of days ago is on there, and when Jeremy did the time that this is from the lunar. There was another lunar eclipse that happened in November, and Jeremy did a nice 1-minute time lapse of that eclipse. So you can see that all on our YouTube channel. So moving forward, this year the board has worked on and completed a new strategic plan that will take us for another 3 years, to include focusing on what we need to do to celebrate our 50th anniversary, and but also how do we expand our outreach and bottom line, ultimately our income. We'll be looking at chasing new grants. I'm starting to meet with various foundations. I can take this strategic plan to them to talk about what it is that we would like to do and to see how they might look at how they might invest in Kopernik. As John had mentioned, we will be looking at new hires, trying to hire a director of education, and with that also additional educators. We have, again, still a lot of facility repairs to do. We've got to paint the outside of this building, and just like your house, there's still always things to fix. And of course, the 50th anniversary, we have a committee now that's starting to work on that. In October of 2024, we will be celebrating our 50th anniversary, and we'll be really chasing after a number of events throughout that year. But the big gala will be in 2024. Right now, we're working on selecting a venue. So at this point, I want to extend a word of thanks to, number one, our staff. I've got just an outstanding staff, unbelievably dedicated, very poorly paid, and but yet they still keep coming back, and it really shows. I mean, the fact that people have really engaged with what we do here is really a testament to what the staff does. And I absolutely have to thank the board of directors. We have a board that works. They say a working board is a board that works, and we absolutely do. Everybody chips in, provides guidance and counsel, and we would not be where we are without the board that we have. And finally, I just want to extend to the public that do come up and engage with Kopernik my thanks for being willing to traipse up the hill, sometimes in the middle of the winter, for what it is that we have to offer. I think we just, they say we are such a unique resource here in the community. I think we could do more, and I'm looking forward to doing more in the public. So at this point, my comments are over, and I guess we can sort of move into an open discussion with the membership. And if you have any questions, what I'll do is I'll walk around with the microphone so that the people on the live stream can hear as well. And if you're on the live stream, if you have any questions, you can put that in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them as well. Thank you. So, any questions from here? No? And take it, nothing? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. So, you have a question?
Well, I can talk loud.
Well, no, the people on the live stream can't hear you.
Okay.
I'll hold it.
No,
Go ahead.
See, I totally forgot what I was going to say now. Two things I was going to say. This is probably the second thing I wanted to say is I heard your interview with Kathy White on Radio 1290
Okay.
WMBF.
Yeah.
And this would be a very good time to do it again to push this whole thing.
Yeah.
And also the 50th anniversary, are you planning any shindig type of thing?
Oh.
Which would be a great fundraiser.
Oh, absolutely. We just like we did, 9
I
years ago.
volunteer.
All right. Well, okay. Well, we will be looking for some help.
Because of
Right.
of the vigilias that we've had, so
Right.
I have some contacts.
Sure. No. We are like back in 2014. We had a 40th anniversary gala that we actually held at Binghamton University. We had the astronaut Doug Wheelock as the speaker. So we'll be doing something very similar to that. And so yeah, as our plans start to take a little more shape, we'll be looking for volunteers. I expect that entire year to actually have multiple events. We actually arranged to have a solar eclipse that year too. So I pulled a few strings, but Mike, did you have a?
I guess the only thing I want to do is say, look at the live stream. I've had a number of people say, oh, I missed the lunar eclipse. I missed it. And then I said, guess what? There's a 1-minute summary. They love it.
Yeah.
So please forward that on. That's all I can say.
Yep.
And Jeremy looks just like you always see him on there.
Yeah, that's right.
Only a lot of times at the telescopes.
All right. All right. Any other questions or comments from
the floor here? Anything in the chat? Not yet. Well then, I guess if there is nothing else, Mr. President, do you want to adjourn us?
Can I have a motion to adjourn this meeting from the floor? Tom makes the motion. All in favor,
I'll
say
second
aye.
it.
Aye.
All right.
Meeting adjourned.
All right. Thank you. Okay, I want to thanks Jeremy for joining us today. And let me see if I can get here.
Yep, my pleasure. Thanks for all of the credit for the work that I didn't do.
Well, actually, having you as a resource to us has been extraordinarily helpful, because there have been various contracts that we've had, and as we look to move forward with various efforts, your review of the materials that we've sent you have been right on.
I appreciate it. I was cracking a joke because clearly you have another Jeremy there that's very, very dedicated and has done amazing things with the live stream and so forth. So I was just sitting back taking credit for it all.
Oh. Well, actually, as it turns out, Jeremy is an attorney, but because he's an attorney and sits on our board, he doesn't actually provide any legal counsel. That's where Jeremy Havens, Brian, I'm sorry. I have another Jeremy, yes. Well, it's time to go stuff envelopes. So anyway, but thank you again, Jeremy, for joining us, and I guess we're adjourned. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Good luck, everybody.
Thank you.